Previously on the Lupe and Royce show.
Have you ever seen Seinfeld?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever seen the one where Kramer decided to become super efficient? And so he did, he tried to compile as many activities into one as possible throughout his day. And there was that scene where he was washing all the food in the shower. So he...
Oh, that is right.
I wish I could laugh at that. I was too busy watching Friends.
Oh, my God. Anyway. The Lupe and Royce show is a Say What Media production.
That was pretty good.
Yo, what up? This is Lupe Fiasco, and today is the first day of Ramadan. Not your today, but my today, because your today is after my today. But today is the first day of Ramadan.
This is Royce the 5'9", and today is my first day of being cooler than I used to be. It's like a spiritual awakening. Time is on you.
And this is Tom. I'm just a regular dude. However, this regular dude is fully vaccinated.
Oh, congratulations. Welcome to the club.
However, can I tell you guys something?
Yes.
I was feeling really good up until about an hour ago. Mm-hmm. And now I'm feeling achy, and I have a sweatshirt on because I got the chills right now.
Yeah, that's
but
I wonder why.
But here I looked into this. And I looked into this, and I did find an interesting article that said women. Now I'm going to make fun of myself for a minute here. Women report worse side effects after COVID vaccine than men, but the reason that is they say women have a better immune system typically than men do, because of all of the different whatever they create in their body. So I'm taking this as maybe I have a slight reaction because I have an incredibly good immune system, and therefore it is working because I'm fighting against whatever it is they put in me, which means I'm going to be successfully vaccinated.
Yeah, that's
my take.
You basically explain how it works. So it's like you don't really get no points for that, but we going to give them to you. But that's how it. That's you just explain how it's supposed to work. It isn't like
it's working.
It isn't something like special or something that you realized or achieved. It's like that's what's supposed to happen.
I think it's something special about me.
Now you're supposed to have a reaction and a response. That means that it's working. And if you don't, that doesn't mean that it's not working, right? It's just that your immune system is reacting to something in a different way. But vaccines are meant to cause a reaction in your body.
Which one did you get, Tom?
I got the Pfizer one.
Okay.
Yes, and shout out to the state of Maryland. They did a fantastic job. The entire system was very well done.
Did they Did they tie the end of a needle to a javelin and throw it at you as you were running across the field? Is that how Maryland?
I had the same woman give me the shot. Both shots. I recognized her when I walked in, and I sat down. I was chit-chatting with her, and before I even knew she gave me the shot, it was done. That's my kind of shot giver.
You didn't even feel the prick?
Didn't even feel it. Now, I do have, very large biceps, so that might have been, part of the reason.
Oh, but hit you in the bicep. Oh, yeah, you ain't going to feel that. Oh, those guns.
The guns, so. But I'm going to make it through tonight. I'm feeling a little weird, but it's all right. It's well worth it. Well worth it.
Of course you're going to make it through tonight. You'll be all right.
I'll be all right.
But just because you mentioned that, I have to do my due diligence. Make sure that you still, and this is talking to the other Toms out there in the world who have also got fully vaccinated, still wear a mask, still practice social distancing. Just because you are vaccinated, that does not mean that you cannot carry the virus or be infected by the virus. So yeah, you still got to take care of yourself and watch your butt.
We got all sorts to get into tonight, but I want to start with, we gave away 2 tickets last night to the Food and Liquor concert coming up. As you're listening to this, it will be coming up right after you listen to this, because you're going to be listening to it in the afternoon, and you're going to immediately be ready to watch.
Yes. Even though this is recorded before, like we're in like a time paradox. Maybe you want to cut all this out, but it feels like a time paradox right now.
Do Sean
It's
Porter
kinda-
have tickets or not? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, bro.
It's kind of like the Flash's world where he could jump, in one direction, back in the other direction, and so forth.
All right, so who
about the Flash, right?
So you're giving away tickets? Was that your segue?
I did. I gave them away.
Okay,
I went and gave the tickets away last night on IG Live, which I appreciate everybody who jumped in. I answered lots of questions about the show. It was a very, very nice little time.
This tonight or last tonight? Tonight now?
Last tonight. It was
Today's
Monday
tonight.
night.
Yesterday's
I
tonight.
gave the tickets to Rich Hayes, and he was very appreciative of them, very excited. He
Shout
said
to
that
Rich.
he never misses an episode of the show. So congratulations, Rich. Excited for you to have the tickets. Excited for you to watch the big show tomorrow. I think there's a key thing here we got to point out. The Lupe and Royce show starts at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow, followed by Lupe Fiasco and Food and Liquor at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Futurestream.tv.
Not tomorrow, tonight.
Futurestream.
Now you're getting me all confused on what
I'm
day
like,
it
you
is.
listen. I wasn't even to talk about none of this, but since you brought it up, futurestream.tv/Lupe Fiasco. Still, you still should be able to slide in there. If you're hearing this right now and you ain't got a ticket yet, you better slide up in there, get you some tickets, check out the show. Hopefully, or not, or not.
No, definitely. And make sure you get the right ticket. Make sure you get the one that includes the Lupe and Royce show. Because that might be even better than the actual concert itself. I mean, your concert's going to be amazing, but...
Trigger
live.
warning, ladies and gentlemen. The content may be a little randy. So just want to make sure people are aware of that. During the Ramadan, I know some people, they be a little hesitant to listen to certain things during the Ramadan season, and just the content on the Food and Liquor live stream, some randiness in there, so prepare yourself. It's a little bit
Randy.
I was inviting a whole room of kids over to watch it. Is that not appropriate?
I mean, you're gonna listen. It's what's on the album. So if that's what I'm serious though. Like if you're some Muslims take that very seriously. So just giving you a trigger warning for my fans out there is what you hear on the album is what you're gonna hear on the show. So prepare yourself. It's Ramadan, man. First day of fasting. That's why I'm not cussing. I'm not cussing on the podcast this whole month. Any cussing done on this podcast will not be done by me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a part of the cussing. I'm not cussing.
So you can start eating. You can start eating after 7.
Yes, you can eat at how does this work? Ramadan.
Yeah,
it's a
please
month.
explain. I don't know anything about this.
It's a month. So first off, Ramadan is a month, right? So it's like February, right? That's where Ramadan
Always
is a month.
February? Or no, always April?
No. So the Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar. So it's connected to the lunar schedule, which is,
All right.
from what I understand, different than the solar schedule. And so the Islamic calendar moves. And it basically moves back. So last year around this time, Ramadan would have came in, I think, a few weeks from now. We'd have been celebrating Ramadan, and then next year is gonna come in a few days or a week before. We would have been a weekend as of right now or something like that, right? I don't know exactly, but that's how it works. The month moves backwards compared to our February, March, April calendar, right? It goes the other way, right? So Ramadan changes comparative to our traditional calendar, right? So it'll be March one year, it'll be February the year after, it'll be January, then it cycles back through itself. Got it? Started there, easy.
This whole episode is about time travel at this point.
Basically,
I don't know
it is
what
like
month
a
it is.
time
I don't know
loop.
what day it is.
So
It's a blessed day.
that month comes in. So it can come in the wintertime. It could come in, and it doesn't matter, right? Just when the calculation comes in that it's Ramadan, that's when we start. 30 days of fasting. You begin fasting. Because it's the lunar calendar, Ramadan starts in the evening. So the day, similar to the solar calendar, but Even more so. Like the day comes in at night, if that makes any sense. So Ramadan actually started last night, right? But the first day of fasting is when the sun comes up. So it's like the next day, if that makes any sense, right?
So today you fasted.
Right. So Ramadan 1, which would be the day, Ramadan the 1st, right? Is like, okay, we're going to fast during this day. But because we're connected to the March, April calendar, stuff like that, it'll come in on the 11th. The night of the 11th, but the first day of fasting would be the day of the 12th. Got it?
Okay, I got that.
You even more confused? Good. And you start.
No, I got it. I'm with you.
You start fasting when before the sun comes up, and you end fasting right as the sun goes down. Now, unfortunately, there's prayers. The 5 daily prayers are sprinkled throughout the day. They change times as well. They change, because they're based on the sun. The height of the sun, the noon, when the sun sets, stuff like that. So there's the dawn prayer called Fajr, which is the first prayer of the day. And you eat up until that first prayer. So you can eat all the way up through to Fajr. It's a very specific time. It actually comes in on the West Coast at like 5:15 or something like that. So you would normally stop eating like 10 minutes before that, but you can eat all the way up until it's time to do that prayer. But for the most part, you just stop like 10 minutes before, right? And then you start fasting, and then you go all the way through the day until the 4th prayer of the day, which is called Maghrib, which is the sunset prayer. And soon as that prayer comes in, like the minute that prayer comes in, you break your fast. And so that's about like now like 7:20 or 7:20-ish, 7:23, 7:24. And because the prayers move through the month, the time that you start fasting today will be a minute different tomorrow or something like that. And then the time that you break fast,
very complicated. The
time that you break fast will be a minute after. So by the time you get to the end of the month, right now, so I'll give you the prayer schedule. Right now, on the West Coast, the first prayer is at 5:13 a.m., and then you break fast at 7:23 p.m., right? But by the time we get to the end of the month...
Jay-Z texting you?
No, I'm on this little app. I'm on this app that's not a sponsor, so they're not getting any shouts out, but no, it's just
but they keep the time of the prayers for you.
They keep the time of the prayer. There's a prayer chart. And so by the end of Ramadan, which would be supposedly like the 12th of May, you would start the first prayer is at 4:36 a.m. and then you break fast at 7:46 p.m. So it's like spreading out.
So wait a minute, you're getting up at 4:30 a.m. for the prayer.
Yeah, but you got to get up. So now actually, I'll be getting up at like 4 a.m. to eat breakfast.
Oh, so now I don't feel bad calling you early in the morning. You'll be up.
I might be up. Anyway, that's the schedule. Does it make sense? Any questions? You good?
It does. So in theory, you're fasting for approximately 14 hours a day.
Yes.
For 30 consecutive days. But you could eat anything you wanted between, in essence, sundown to sun up.
Yes. Yeah. During that time, you can't eat, drink, smoke, or have sex. Those are the main big things that you can't do. Or you have to make it up later. Or there's penalties and stuff like that. You have to make up for it later. Feed somebody, do some other stuff. Fast 60 days. It's really a thing. But then after that, you can do all that. If you're married, you can have sex, do all that stuff after the sun goes down. But in that period of time, can't do none of that.
So it's in essence flipping the norm.
Basically,
instead of eating during the day, you're
getting rid of lunch. You're getting rid of lunch and sex and cigarettes. Just to
there is no norm when it comes
straight to.
Now, can I shoot guns or gamble or anything like that, or is it just sex and food?
Not supposed to be gambling anyway.
I love when people call me early in the morning, thinking that they doing something. Little do they know I've been up all night.
What time do you go to sleep, Royce?
Man, I go to sleep when I get sleepy.
Wow.
I don't have no time.
You don't live on a timetable of any sorts.
I mean, When I'm telling somebody what time it is, yeah. But other than that, I don't. I don't know how I just got goofy out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't live on no timetable. I got up early this morning. That's probably why I'm slap happy right now.
Wait, but what time did you go to sleep last night?
I went to sleep early last night. I went to sleep like 10 o'clock, bro. I went to sleep like 10 o'clock last night because I knew I had a long, loaded day of meetings with people who live on a regular schedule. I don't. I live
a regular schedule.
And I'm starting my workout tomorrow, so now I got to start getting up in the morning and doing it. So,
wait, what workout?
I'm getting back on my regimen. I ain't worked out in 2.5 years.
Wait, to do what? Like to fight? Like what's the goal?
What do you have something scheduled? You have a fight scheduled you're going to announce?
It's just time, bro. You know how you wake up and you just decide it's time. It's time. I got too much extra weight on me. Oh, okay. I feel heavy. I walk down the stairs and make noises at my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of that.
Wait, so
should we set up an actual fight, a boxing bout? We could call the fight.
No.
I could be the cut man. I can come in there and trim you up.
They're like, Daddy, you got fat belly. When I take my shirt off.
Oh, it's like a fat belly. It's a general workout aesthetically, which is you're not preparing to fight a fellow rapper or some other celebrity.
Yeah. It's not even.
I thought maybe
it's not even
Nas. We're going after Nas.
Not even necessarily aesthetically. It's just to be in better shape. Like it seemed like everybody getting sick. Like I just got news that an old friend of mine who I haven't seen in a long time just got real sick right after DMX, right after Black Rob. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just time to get back in shape.
Yeah, to everybody out there, it creeps up on you real quick.
I hate the hospital. I don't feel like being in no damn hospital. I'm good on that.
Gotta take care of yourself.
Especially in this time of being at home, it creeps up with you.
Yeah, my hips hurt. Yes. Like my next phase of things, like post Ramadan and even during Ramadan, is now to really figure out what's going on with my hips and my back. You know what I'm saying? Like this is.
You been stretching?
It's becoming a thing.
You been stretching?
No, I should be stretching more. Stretching hurts, man. But yeah, I need to, that's what I'm saying. It's that whole like, okay, next 5 years, what's wrong with me right now that I can solve because I don't want to feel like this 5 years from now, Or if I do feel like this 5 years from now, I don't want it to be from me just not taking care of this right now. So yeah, I gotta figure out.
You remember stretching didn't hurt?
Stretching has always hurted, right? Didn't stretch always hurt?
Shouldn't stretches hurt because you're stretching out your muscles?
Stretching, nah.
Wait, what stretching are we talking about? With the legs?
Yeah.
Man, stretching hurts, man.
It ain't supposed to hurt.
Who told you that?
Ain't nobody tell me shit. Stretching ain't supposed to hurt. You supposed to stretch until you become flexible. Then the shit don't hurt no more, man.
I don't know.
Stretching didn't hurt when you was a little kid, did it?
Maybe I was never flexible.
I think once
I could stretch my daughter into a damn pretzel and she won't be hurting at all.
Yeah, I mean, but she not 40 either, man. But what I think
that's what I'm saying.
No, but I
remember when it did hurt? When those the good old days?
No, I was watching this dude who has a YouTube channel where he's a Shaolin monk, or he did training at Shaolin or something like that. And he was talking about specifically that stretching, right? Because at that point I was like, yeah, I need to start stretching. So I started to look, whatever. And he was talking about stretching at the Shaolin Temple and like do how they used to stretch the kids. And he was like, yo, it was horrifying. Like because when we talk about that type of stretching, they're talking about like full block splits, like full splits, right? Not like just like often to do a little thing here and run, but like full splitting. So that's why I was kind of like, what kind of stretching are we talking about? If we talking about full on the floor, legs all the way out splits, dude was like, it was terrifying. And it took him like months, or it took him a while specifically where his teacher would just come and like put him in all these crazy positions and just like stand on him or lean on him or put him in like rear, like they would stand on the kids and it would just be horror. He said it was like almost like child abuse. Yeah.
Well, I never did splits. I never did the splits. I don't
What's
know
the
why
advantage of doing a split?
he
Like,
took
what?
he took it to the extreme, boy. I'm talking about.
Right, but that's what I was saying when you said stretching, right? So I'm thinking like what? Yeah, that's like Van Damme stretching. So that's what I thought you were talking about. I was like, are we talking about that? Like that?
I was
that
thinking
hurts.
knee to chest, that kind of stretching.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's
He took it to the Ernie Reyes Jr.
yeah, that's
extreme.
what I
Like,
thought. But on turn, but even that,
like this.
yeah, but even that, even like like just kicking at a certain, having a certain level of flexibility to get there. I mean, that it's a little bit of pain, man. It's a little, it's a little bit of pain, a little bit pain.
Maybe we should have a stretching monk on and walk us through the stretching regimen.
You better not DM a stretcher.
from Royce's
your
account.
account.
Yeah.
Bro.
Let me find. Hey, if there's any
DM Shaolin
exercising
Temple.
monks out there, DM us back through Royce.
Yeah, that's funny.
DM Tom.
That's funny. He's using.
Through Tom. Tom on edge.
Exercising monk.
We used to stretch.
Jeez,
We stretched in high school, and it was. I mean, there's some people that probably have a more flexibility or a better pain threshold, but I mean, at this point now, right now, for me, yeah, it hurts. It hurts.
Well, me personally, when I'm at the house, I walk down the stairs, one stair at a time, like this. Holding on to the banister, bro.
What's wrong?
You know what I mean?
Like, what's the issue?
Yeah, well, why are you doing this?
Because too many times I went. You okay? No. That's me too many times, bro.
Yo, falling down the stairs is
Too
the
many
thing,
times.
man. Shout out to everybody that fell down the stairs. I hope that you're feeling better. That really gets people, man.
That
It's
hurts.
Me, carpeted stairs and socks that just don't mix.
I was in Nigeria for the same documentary I spoke about earlier, and the first kickoff meeting with the entire Nigerian team was upstairs. After the meeting, we walked out. Everybody was in front of me, and I had to grab something. I literally fell down the entire set of stairs from the top of their office all the way to the bottom. I was so embarrassed. I jumped up, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yep, fine." And I remember getting the minute I got in the car to get out of there, the other producer was sitting next to me. He said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "No, I think I'm seriously hurt." But I didn't want to admit it to these people who just met me in a foreign country that I just fell all the way down their steps.
Oh, I'm fine. Take me to the hospital.
Yeah, I was hurting. I needed some
said
serious
no.
stuff.
I'm seriously injured. Yo. yo, nerdy question though, Royce. How deep are your stairs? Like, how shallow are you? Are you walking up like are you got super shallow steps where only like half of your foot fits on one time?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's only 5/9 of a step, or what?
I don't really know, bro. What's the problem? All I know is that when it's just having socks on and carpet, something happens where my socks slip on the carpet. And I always slip somewhere around the same step. I don't know if it's one step that's off, or I know maybe it's not enough step. Maybe it's too dense. I don't know, bro. All I know is I'm really careful now. But I think that's what life is, right? Life teaches you to be careful. You know the spots in life. You know the spots in life where to be careful at. My stairs is just one of them, you know?
Is that the
Like
philosophy?
when you're a little kid, your mom says, "Don't touch that fire, Ryan." And you're looking at the fireplace and you're going, "She said not to touch it, but I want to know what that shit feels like." And you put your little hand in there, you burn yourself, and you never do it again. You know not to touch that fire. That's how it is with my steps.
It's all part of life.
I like that.
Yeah, my
philosophy.
steps. My steps are like a lesson in life, bro. It's a stepping stone. My steps are a stepping stone in life.
You should write like little sayings on your steps. You know, like
so you can read them on the way down.
Like quotes. Yeah, no, like I don't wish harm upon them. I'm saying like quotes. You know, like really, just really like lean into it. Like really make those steps. So and then for your kids and everything. So every time they going up, they stepping towards enlightenment. How about that? Look at that. That the top step is like a whole like just profound statement.
My son is 20. He's 22. He can run full speed down the steps. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing. Me, if I tried that, oh please.
Do you got like ostentatious stairs, like a spiral staircase gilded with gold and stuff like that, similar to your throne?
I can see that.
No, they come down. They go down, and then they go to the right, and then down.
Is there like a lion statue at the end of the stairs, at the end of the banister?
Like on the banister, you like pat it on the way down?
Yeah. Like a hawk, a falcon,
no?
Or something like that?
No.
Is it like, are the banister poles replaced with like guns? Like it's just none of that? It's
nothing masculine about the house, if that's what you're asking. No.
You can't.
It's totally my wife's house. So I'm just letting that be known. I'm gonna throw that out there.
You just live there.
It's so much her house, and I make so many jokes that when I'm on my way home from here, there's a running joke between her and I, where I call and be like, "I'm on my way to your crib. You need anything?" And then if I'm leaving out and I'm coming here to the studio, where you going? Your house?
It's your what they call it, man cave? Heaven Studios is your man cave?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's my fortress.
And you know what? I thought that your Matrix room, I thought it was hidden. I seen you on the gram. It was like, now it just seems like it's not hidden anymore. Like you just got guns hanging.
Yeah, you've been telling everybody where everything is.
It's not a Matrix room.
It's kind of a Matrix.
I thought it was the hidden room.
I thought it was I thought it was like, this is my secret stash. It seems like that's your public. That's where you welcome guests.
No, nobody goes in my fucking Matrix room. That's like somebody touching Brennan's drum set on Step Brothers. Nobody goes in my Matrix room, bro. I show it, but nobody's welcome in there.
If you haven't seen Royce's Matrix room, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out his Instagram. It's pretty interesting.
It is quite the room. I don't have a room like that.
I'm not even allowed in there, and it's my room.
I need a hidden room.
Yo, the evidence against Royce, if it ever goes down, I mean, I want to meet the lawyer who's going to be able to argue. Like, it's going to be the most, you're going to have to find, like, the best lawyers in the world to defend.
Why you say that?
Because the evidence that you have publicly of just
is everywhere.
Like what?
Like your Matrix. What do you mean? Like your Matrix room? Like, yeah, Yana. So my client Royce, he's listen. There's not a violent bone in this man's body, and then the prosecution's gonna be like, good, great, here we go. Chapter 1.
But there's no evidence of me committing any violent acts. Just evidence of me showing that where I'm willing to defend myself. That's it. It's all self-defense. Never would I ever inflict harm upon anyone who's not trying to inflict harm upon me first.
I'm just saying, like, it could just be like, it ain't got to be something violent. It could be like a parking ticket. Be in there for. Your Honor.
Yeah, you
this man has a Matrix wall, yo.
I'd just be like, man, I don't know what the hell you talking about. Leave me alone.
Yo, that's a tragic segue. But I mean, might as well dig into it. I know you've seen that. That was on the list of things you kind of want to dig into, Tom. shooting in up in Minneapolis again. Yeah, Brooklyn Center.
I mean,
So what exactly happened, man? Because I didn't delve into it yet because I'm trying to guard my energy. What exactly happened?
here's my take, but then Lou, you can dive in much further. But to me, it's a very odd story because it happened literally blocks from an enormous court case that's going on that we're all kind of watching, and apparently the woman officer who thought she was grabbing her taser grabbed a gun and shot and killed this 20, I believe he's 20 years old with a son.
20-year-old kid.
Yeah, 20-year-old kid. And it was a mistake that apparently she grabbed the wrong weapon.
Because
how is that possible?
they have the taser and the gun. Do you mean her own taser?
Yes, she had a taser and a gun. She went to grab, apparently the taser, grabbed the gun, shot it, and killed him.
Do they normally carry those things in what proximity to each other? Like if they're on the same side usually? I guess you want to have them both on the same side as whatever hand you are, right?
Well, I was reading somewhere that most times, and again, I'm just reading this, you have them on two opposite sides. You have your strong arm with the gun and your off arm with the taser. Just for reasons of, being...
How can you make a mistake and do that?
That's exactly... Yeah, I don't know. So to me, I don't know. Is it a mistake? Is it more than that? Is it... I mean, it's a deadly mistake, obviously. It cost this young man his life.
I'm in a weird... I just had a weird epiphany, right? Because I was going to lay down just the facts, right? I was going to lay down the facts as I know them, right? So when you ask for it's like, what happened? Same thing. It's like, because what you hear is like, man gets shot by the police, right? And then you get like, it was an accident, da-da-da. But you rarely get like what all happened, like what all happened. And I'm careful, and I'm going to start doing this, because I kind of wait before I speak on things or involve myself with things, because I know there's still facts and things to come out, right? And then I also know how people can take facts or take truths and weaponize them and use that back and forth to either critique people or like we just kind of talking about with you, Royce. Like it could be something where you going to court for somebody else, right? You just in the crowd, and then they're like, "Oh, look who he brought! He brought dude." And if you seen his Instagram, they'll start using things to make a case for somebody against somebody else that ain't got really nothing to do with what's happening in the core piece, right? So my thing was like, I'm gonna preface this by saying this is what I found out just reading. I think it's the New York Times. I could be wrong. I apologize if it's not. Because I was interested too. Like, okay, what's going on? What happened? How do we get here? And so from what I understand is they pulled him over because he had expired like registration or expired like tags or plates or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. To be kind of chronological, he had the car because I think his parents or somebody had gave him that car, and he only had it for like a couple weeks or something like that, right? And spot that kind of, you think like, all right, cool. If you had a car for a couple weeks, then yeah, it might be going through registration. Registration could be expired. If it's a new car, it's not yours. You gotta go through processes and stuff like that. Understood. And then what the next piece is when they pull him over and run the plates, run who he is, that it came back to he had a warrant for his arrest. And that's how you get from, just getting pulled over for expired tags and stuff like that to, guns and, altercation now, right? Like how to even get to a point where guns and stuff, even tasers are pulled or whatever, right? It goes from just being like warning or a ticket into like there's confrontation. And the piece is, And the reason I said that, preface that earlier, because I don't want this to be like we're holding court right now. Like, these are just like the facts of like what they say happened, but I don't want people to excuse it as like, oh, you're painting this dude as being having a Matrix room, or you're painting this dude to be this. This is just what I know from the one article that I read. And so he gets back in the car, or makes a motion to get back in the car, and whatever altercation happens, and that's where you get the officer reaching for whatever they were planning to reach for, right? And then he speeds off and she shoots, right? And he gets probably like a couple blocks, and then the car crashes into like another car, crashes into something, and then he's pronounced dead at the scene with a shot to the chest. And in the car was his girlfriend, I think, or a female acquaintance or something like that was in the car with him. And I think this whole time he was on the phone with his mom, or on the phone with somebody, telling him what was happening. And in the piece where after he pulls off, after he gets shot, crashes, I think like the mom calls back again, the girlfriend picks up and said they just shot him. So that's what I understand as being like at least like the whole thing. Like, how did it get to this? What caused this? How do we get to that? What did we get to that? That's the story that I read in the news article, I think, this morning. So yeah, with no judgment calls, not trying to paint anything or do anything like that. At the end of the day, it's super, super bad if somebody has to pass away over something so small. But the reason that they say he had a warrant was having a pistol, unlicensed firearm, and then running from the police.
Yeah, he didn't come in on his warrant or whatever it was. Yeah.
So, but even still, something, life and death at the balance of, a traffic altercation. It's unfortunate, unwarranted. But that's the story as I know it thus far, Royce. I'm sure it's probably going to change, and more is going to, as they always do, more stuff is going to happen. More stuff's going to come to light. In terms of the officers saying that they made a mistake for this or that, I don't even know. I can't even begin to even speak to that,
And she was young, too, the officer. I believe the officer was 26, 27.
I thought she was like 40.
She was young.
I thought the officer was like 40. Older officer.
I don't believe so.
Anyway.
No, the officer, Kimberly A. Potter, a 26. Well, no, I'm sorry. You're right. A 26-year veteran of the force.
Yeah.
So, yes, she had been on the force for 26 years.
Yeah,
you're correct.
She's older.
Oh, man.
There you have it.
So, yeah.
What else happened?
And I think she resigned, and then
she resigned.
And I think then the police chief resigned too.
Oof.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but man, they're having some bad times out in
I think so.
Minneapolis.
And just to be clear, I think Brooklyn Center is different. It's a different city, so it's not like Minneapolis. So it's not like
it's a different city, but I think it's close though. And when I say close, meaning it's probably 10 miles or less.
Yeah. So when we say that the police chief resigned, it wouldn't have been the like Minneapolis police chief, right? Would have been like
which was Hennepin County or something like that.
Yeah. It's this smaller town, or Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. And it's on the heels of like, there's been like, how many mass shootings has there been since we had our episode? We're kind of addressing that. Like, there's been like more. There was like a shooting, and I don't want to call it a mass shooting because I know the language on that is very specific. But there was like the shooting at the high school in Tennessee. Remember the shooting in Colorado? It's still kind of like there, kind of like past. But even in between, I think Colorado, was there one in Texas or something like that? I don't want to keep.
There was one in Texas. There was one there. It was one in Orange County.
Yeah.
It's crazy right now. I don't know what is triggering all of this. Like,
Orange County is west, right?
Yeah, I think it's West Coast. I think it's because there's an Orange County in New York, but
I think it's Orange County, California.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it? I mean, we talked about this before. Is it pent up craziness? Is it mental health? Is it access? I mean,
It's guns, man.
You think it's the guns?
It's guns, man. That's what it is. Because it's all of those things that you said, Tom, like all layered in there, right? Even this thing with the Dante.
Dante, right? I think Dante, right?
I mean, what's the deciding factor in that case? That cop's gun. You know, you go to Colorado.
You don't feel like the cops should be able to carry them either?
It's countries where cops don't, you know,
Carry guns.
You know,
Where at?
in the UK, there's like special squads, if I'm not mistaken. Tom, do my due diligence so I'm not out here lying to the people on the first day of Ramadan, man. But there's countries where, you know, in places where, you know, cops aren't armed like that. You know, they have their departments within the police force which are armed that the unarmed cops would call if they needed that to come into play. But then I don't know how that's changed over the past climate. You know, we had all these terrorist attacks and different stuff in Europe and stuff like that. It might have been different. But I don't know if it's just part of the conversation.
So in your own state of California, and I think this is just recent. Oh, it's as of February. Berkeley City Council voted to ban police stops for low-level offenses in hope to, I guess, to reducing racial disparities in policing. I don't know exactly how that would work, though. So if you're speeding, you just don't get pulled over?
That's one thing, right? Like, I don't think that's the solution. I think that there's other... Like, that's the take, like, that will work if you were talking about drugs, right? If you just, like, legalize all drugs, right? I mean, all drug crime goes away. And then all the pressures that create other crimes because people are trying to either protect their drugs, you know, smuggle their drugs, you know, whatever, right, for their drugs. And there's going to be other crimes. And that's showcased in, like, how, like, a lot of the cartels started to diversify, right? So when you think of, like, Mexican cartels, you might think of, like, oh, it's all drugs and cocaine. But it's like, no, they're doing, like, kidnapping and, like, all types of hijacking and all this other crazy stuff. So it's not necessarily going to solve, you know, crime as a whole, but at least it'll put it'll stem a lot of the crime that's committed in and around kind of drugs. If you did that with, like, just low-level traffic stops and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to have that type of effect. I don't necessarily agree with that, because there's some low-level crime things which are, I believe, necessary for, like, you know, people running stop signs.
Well,
you know, speeding, stuff like that, speeding in school zones, like all of that stuff, kind of needs to be kept in check. I don't think we need to go too far off the deep end where we just stop enforcing crime as a whole. You know, I think it's some things that you need a certain level of, like, presence and a certain level of resistance. How you apply that and where you apply that, you know, just needs to be meted out. But I don't think for the sake of trying to solve police shootings, that's like, okay, we're gonna stop pulling people over for speeding and stuff like that. Like, I don't think that's the right move.
I guess the thinking, though, is that, and I don't know if I agree or disagree with this, but if you stop for minor violations, you immediately take away this interaction that could lead to something much more severe that it didn't need to go to. I guess that's their point in there. And is there a way to ticket those people? I mean, nowadays, I mean, how many times have I gotten a ticket? I shouldn't say this, but a ticket in the mail, you know, because the cameras, they're already finding other ways to not have to interact with you for speeding, for stop signs, for traffic lights, you know, for minor violations that then don't warrant a face-to-face conversation, which could lead to something very different. So that's a matter of, I guess, installing technology.
But that's like after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean if somebody who ran a stop sign, and it's just if somebody who ran a stop sign hits a kid? You know,
Yeah.
what good is that traffic light ticket if you got somebody who's habitually running them and doesn't, you know, it's somewhat to be able to capture it in real time, or at least be able to address it in real time. Things like suspended plates, you know, registration expired, stuff like that. Like I understand the modus operandi behind it. I just don't think that that's what's gonna solve it. I think what would solve it in that interaction if nobody had a gun. You know what I'm saying? So the interaction, the only reason the interaction is dangerous is because there's a weapon involved. You know, there's a firearm in the midst.
Man, we can't even get guns taken off from normal citizens. I can't even imagine a situation in the United States where policemen would give up the right to carry guns. I mean, I can't believe how they did it in the UK, but it is true in the UK. A vast majority of police do not carry guns.
It's not their decision. They ain't giving up shit.
It's not their decision, but you know that like unions and so forth are going to fight that to the bitter end, and lobbying. I mean, it's not their decision, but they have a role in it.
I mean, I think it's by design. I think that narrative is by design, and America was born out of, you know, violence. You know, so
Yeah.
America's Constitution is built around violence, right? The gun is enshrined in it, literally, right? The Declaration of Independence, you know, is basically a declaration of war, right? Independence just means it's a substitute. You call it the War of Independence, but it's a war, right? Where we're finna kill some people. So I think just America's culture is that, and I think again going back to the gun companies and the people who profit directly from that, it is to say like, nah, cops should have guns because, you know, the bad guy got guns, you know, or this person has a gun or that person has a gun, and they're not wrong, right? But it still it addresses like, well, why does that person need a gun, right? Because these criminals got guns, and then this person's got a gun, so it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, where cops, why does a cop need a gun? Because I'm fearful for my life, or I'm gonna need to be able to control the situation.
Is there really a realistic way of wiping the country clean of guns? Is that possible? Because if that's not possible, then I don't know if that's too. If that's
I mean, somehow they did it in the UK. Now they have their other set of problems, but in terms of
from get rid of all the guns, or did their police, you know, everybody else's police force didn't evolve the same way ours did. Ours evolved from the slave patrol. So what about over there? Like,
that's a good point.
Did it start from somewhere where the foundation of it was too many guns, let's get rid of them and let's do it this way, or did it evolve and just to what it is now?
I mean, I could take a guess that they're on an island, right? So they're much, and it's much smaller, right? So they're much more aware of what's coming in and what's coming out, much more able to control the flow of goods in general, right? And kind of have to be, right? Because if the ships stop coming in, you got other problems you have to deal with. Also, like, I mean, they had the British for for a time were responsible for slavery, right? So on top of that, it's like they had insights into controlling populations, but I think in different ways, right? So if you think about how do we control a population of slaves in America, it might be different than how we control a population of slaves or keep tabs on a population of slaves in Jamaica, which was the British colony at that time, right? Where they would use things like, of course they had raw violence and stuff like that, but I mean, you only got so many bullets in that flintlock rifle. You know what I'm saying? You don't have like 100 round clip magazines and all that stuff, right? So there has to be other things that are in play to control the narrative and keep people in play. One was, this is an island, right? There's nowhere to go, you know? So if you're a slave and you run away, ain't no Canada, right? You're going to hit an ocean over here. You're going to hit a sea over here. You're going to hit another ocean over there. You're going to hit another ocean over there, right? So it's kind of like, okay, if you don't know how to swim, you're dead type situation. And then the other piece is the narrative of like, well, if you think of America, you could run and keep running. You could really go somewhere and establish yourself and not have to worry about the terrain kind of being a barrier to you escaping or leaving. But then also, they were in tune with the cultures and the narratives that they had as slaves. So it would be like, we know that you have certain taboos against dismemberment, right? So if you try and do anything, and we know you care more about the afterlife than this life. So we know if you do anything, we're going to kill you. And you're not worried about that because you know you're going to go to the afterlife, you're going to be fine. But we're going to cut your arms off. Or we're going to cut your head off. And then you won't be able to reassemble. So now you won't be able to go to the afterlife, right? So it's things like that. And the people like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to play this little game with y'all for the most part. So I think it's still coming from a malicious place, you know, still coming from that spot, but different ways that things evolve with the relationships of where things happen geographically, and then what's the cultural narrative that are also there, how much they are aware of that. Fast forward that to today. Again, America's a place that was born like built by the gun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we were built by a revolution,
built by the gun, right? Like, outside of police, outside of anything like that, like, it was literally like the gun, right? It's kind of started this country, and what still to this day, why America is so revered around the world, you know, outside of, you know, culture, currency, it's that gun. You know, it's that Pentagon budget, it's that stealth fighter, it's that F-35, it's that Marine Corps at your doorstep, it's the Navy SEALs, you know, it's the AR-15 toting such and such. So I mean, that gun piece is ingrained in kind of American, the American narrative in a deep, deep way.
I mean, I would even take it further and say people overseas, when they think of America, they still think of the cowboy, right? That Wild Wild West, the guy carrying your gun, and I mean that's America. There was no Wild Wild West in other countries.
It seems like, man, like conflict management. What do you do in those moments? You know, where you're faced with somebody who you have legitimate right to detain. You know, like there's whether it's for a big thing or a small thing. Like I've been arrested by the police on some, like, you know, you're speeding. Why are you speeding? Because I'm trying to get home. You know, it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm trying to get home. Like, I want to get off these streets. You know, car accidents, people drunk, driving. I'm trying to get out of here. Which is valid, right? Like, yeah, okay, cool, I can see that, man. But, you know, still at the same time, too, you could be the person sober, speeding, unable to control your car because something happens in a flash. Before you know, you veering off the road, hitting somebody, or driving up, trying to evade one of those drunk people. So I get that. Then it becomes, oh, yo, your license is suspended, right? And it goes from, like, casual conversation of trying to, like, maybe get off or get the cop to see my point of view, to, like, oh no, you're a criminal right now. Let's go. Cuffs, back of the car, and search the whole thing. And I was like, you know, what are we gonna do with this car? Luckily, we were way out, and it was like, I know you don't want to deal with that car. So look, my people's is up the street. Let me get them to come pick up the car. We ain't gotta worry about that. All right, cool. But I was a prisoner. I was done for, right? And it's like, what do you do? People talk about this, you know, how you supposed to behave and stuff like that. You know, I always look at it like, man, I ain't got no gun. You know, I don't have the same plays in court that y'all got. I can't get away with this. You know, I have the whole, you might be the dirtiest cop on the force, but I know if I do anything to you, that the entire force going to be on my back. You know what I'm saying? Pulling all types of tricks of the trade. So in those little moments that I know I can control, whether I'm in the right or they're in the wrong, I like, man, just put me somewhere safe. Keep me away from you. That's what I'm trying to do in this moment. And for some folks that they may not have the opportunity to do that. They might not be their thought process. You know, it might be
it's not their mentality.
You know, I need no, and then just
it escalates very quickly.
I know that army guy, the army soldier guy that they pulled over. Where was that at? Was that Maryland? Virginia?
I don't know that one.
I didn't dive into that one, Royce. I just seen
The
the.
guy who had the uniform on. You know
Oh yeah, what that was in Virginia, I believe. Let me look.
He didn't say nothing argumentative. That shit escalated on its own. Matter of fact, they jumped out the car mad at him. They pulled him over, was mad as soon as they jumped out the goddamn car.
Yeah, that was in Virginia.
Like, man.
Yeah, that was Virginia, and that was again a traffic stop. I think we got something here. Traffic stops tend to lead to very bad things. Technology.
How many black officers do you hear accidentally killing somebody?
Not many.
There's things that make the news because they're built and designed to make the news.
Yeah.
Well, black officer killed the unarmed white man. You don't think that's news? That would be newsworthy and full of propaganda?
I mean, if a black officer killed another black man, right? Not to dodge your question.
That's not what I asked.
Okay, so if a black officer kills an unarmed white person, but here's the difference. Here's the difference. I think that we as black folks look at the news differently than maybe how white folks look at it. There's a certain level of kind of like expectation about the news in general, just the media in general, what it should be covering, what it's not covering, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think if you had a situation where a white officer shoots a black person, no matter what the circumstances are, at least in the interim, because we've experienced that with the brother down in Atlanta, right, at the Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't know it was WWF, right, prior to him getting shot. If you see white officer shoots black person, it's mainstream, it's news, it's going, right, for reasons of we as black folks demand it to be news. Right, and it's news places would feel like they're doing something wrong if they don't cover it. Now I think if you reversed it, I think it'll be different. I think it'll be a little bit of news, and then kind of get settled to a certain degree, for both those reasons. One, because black folks don't want to see a black person put on stage like that. So it becomes, as the news organization, how do we handle this? Because now it's flip-flop. So let's just kind of like hope that another bigger story comes out so we can kind of put this one to the side. And I don't think you're going to see the same kind of energy from the white community to keep it in people's faces like that. That's just
so an unarmed white person get killed by a black officer. That doesn't make the news because white people aren't as high strung as black people. That's what you're saying about the news.
I mean, it depends on the case. So take Christopher Dorner, right? Christopher Dorner was a black cop.
That shit was all over the news.
I know, but here's the kicker. He was shooting, like he was just whacking people. He was assassinating people that's connected to it. How innocent were they? Right? If you can't get dude, you get his girl. If you do this, you do that. Savage. But in our conscience, we don't really reference Christopher Dorner no more. Like, he was news at the time, and it was a hit, and it was big, and da-da-da-da-da. And I remember even when Dave Chappelle brought it up when he had his comedy special, right? We was talking about some with Christopher Dorner and Don't Mention or something like that. And it was like, wow, I haven't heard that name in forever. Right? Because I don't think it carries the same kind of cachet as, white cop shoots black person in this narrative in which we're living in today. So when you put it on when you put the shoe on the other foot of black cop shoots unarmed white person, from a news standpoint, I don't think it carries the same weight. I don't think it carries the same demands. I don't think it fits the narrative.
You think You saying you think it probably happens just as much, it just doesn't carry the same weight, so it doesn't make the news?
Nah, I think we could find out if it does. Like some stuff don't make the news. Certain things, even things that make the news.
Lots
now,
of stuff doesn't make the news.
Even the things that made the news now. So you think of, I go back to Ahmaud Arbery, right? Ahmaud Arbery happened months before we knew it even happened. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a little bit of bubbling over here, but in terms of it being in the news and you being unable to escape it, it's like we were watching footage that was a month old. So even things that eventually may come into the news and be a big deal because there's a lot of promotion, a lot of people like demanding that this needs to be front and center. Like, how often does that happen? How many shootings are there actually occurring? Like, how much is that? We think about these. Think about that. 10 people got shot, or all those people that got killed in that supermarket in Colorado. It was like after the next day, you don't hear nothing, right? Because there's another shooting, and there's another shooting, there's another shooting. Say the shooting in Atlanta, the Asian, the guy who went in and shot up the massage parlors, right? It's kind of like, now what else do we do? Like, we just got to kind of wait until there's a trial. We got to kind of wait. And then how many people actually follow the trial when it's not like a big, high impact, well covered kind of thing? It's like, we don't even know what happens to these people.
No
they
idea.
Come up years later when they go to trial. Years later, oh, dude got the death penalty, or dude did this, or dude insane, and it's just a blip in the midst of the other bigger narrative or the other big thing that just happened. So, I mean, I don't think that black folks are less high strung. I do recognize that there is, or white folks are less high strung than black folks. I do think there is a certain tension and a certain demand from the black community as a whole when things like this happen, for that thing to be front and center no matter what, right? And it has to be you got to keep it in people's face, because there's so much, like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's so much packed into it that this case is representative of the condition of black people, and we need to stop this. So every time something happens,
every case means a lot more than the actual case itself.
Yeah.
I don't
think a black cop shooting an unarmed white person means
as much. Yeah, it should, but it doesn't. I actually, in a weird way, I get exactly what you're saying. Royce.
Yes.
You don't seem convinced of that.
No, I don't agree with that shit.
You don't agree.
Come on, man. It's just racism. That's it. I'm not rolling with nothing else. Nothing else. If it was a black officer doing that, his balls would be in a fucking sling right now, and we would all see it. Come on, man.
See, I don't
if
know.
the tables were turned,
I don't know about that. At a certain point, it becomes cops. Like, it's like cops, right? And it's like, yeah, you black, you white, but to a cop, you're a cop, and you could be the blackest pro-black. Not saying that racism doesn't take place within the cop community, but there is something about being a cop, man, that separates you a little bit.
They got their own code. I agree with that, but I'm talking about as it pertains to the things the cops are doing to civilians. There seems to be a disparaging, unbalanced amount of white police officers doing things to unarmed black males and females. And you don't see it in any other type of variable that you can put out there. Now, you can say maybe it's just not making the news because of the demand that us as black people have. Okay, yeah, you can say all that, but to me, nah, I think it's just white people, it's white police officers doing shit to black people. That's what I think. But what do I know, man?
No, I mean, it's there. I mean, each case, this is why I kind of step back from speaking on these things until they at least fulfill themselves a little bit more on the details. And I mean, the details matter. If they don't make it right, they at least make it make sense. So yes, is it racism? Is it there? Potentially, I don't know. I don't know if that white woman is racist just because she's a cop and she's white and she shot a black dude. I don't know if that makes her racist. I do know that.
I'm not saying that makes her racist. I'm saying the stats make it a racist issue, an issue with racism. The stats make it. We can't say to each individual, you're automatically a racist, because there is a such thing as making a mistake. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But by way of statistic, if you're just looking at statistic and you're looking at the unbalanced stat, that's racism. That's what racism is. If you want to judge racism by looking at a statistic, you're looking exactly racism in the face without isolating any one or two or three. You know, this lady could have been, because I was going to say earlier, women don't usually make those kinds of mistakes, but I didn't say it because I don't want to get it conflated with the motherfuckers that's fucking up. You know what I'm saying? The people that fuck it up for the ones that actually are making a mistake. And that's how it is. And none of it is really being addressed or dealt with properly because it's too much of what if and this and propaganda and this. And it's only because of that. And it's only because of this. Shit only happened with us.
Do you think that this is a front page story if that was a white woman who shot a white man? Because part of this story is
when do you see that happening?
No, I'm saying if this was, you know, Tom Wright, not you know, and if it was, because part of this is the situation that's going on, right? We're 10 miles away from a major court case that had this entire country up in arms this summer. And so part of it is its proximity to where that was being located and the fact that it was a white officer and a black man. So I guess my question is if it was a white officer and a white man, would we even be talking about this right now?
The reason why we're talking about this right now is because we see footage all online where there's a white officer and the white man is speeding off. He's just not getting shot. It's only when the black man decides to speed off that it's gunfire. You know what I'm saying? You see white men pushing police officers down, assaulting police officers, chasing them around the car. You can even put the fucking Barnum and Bailey music with it when they're chasing them around the car. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they don't even think to use excessive force until it's a person of color. That's why we're talking about it. That's it. That's it.
So you don't think it even happens if that's a white dude in the car?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a possibility that this happened before, but not in such of an amount where it demands the attention of the people. This is just happening at a rate where it's demanding our attention. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. My workout starts tomorrow, bro. You know what I mean? So,
what's your workout entail? I'm changing subjects here. What's your workout entail tomorrow?
Start out slow.
Okay.
Some cardio. You know, first I gotta knock off the rapper fat. You know what I'm saying?
Rapper fat.
Once I get Lupe, know what that is. He has something at one point.
I what do you mean?
You
like to pull everybody into just one little thing. Like you're a boxer. Okay, you're a boxer.
There is no such thing as a rapper who
you are. Hold on.
Listen.
There is
no such thing as a rapper who has not had rapper fat at some point in his rap. You can't maintain a successful career and not have rapper fat. It's part of success.
How you gonna call it just rap? Like, it's people who fat, man. They ain't gotta be rappers. They could be singers.
No, I ain't talking about
I wouldn't
that
say
type
dancers.
of fat.
Dancers may not have it.
I'm talking about rapper fat. You
why,
know, like
why
when
you gotta
when,
throw it at me? Like, oh, Lou know what I'm talking about.
No,
He know what it
because every rapper has it, especially us in shape ones. You ain't ever seen me in pictures when my face is just like round and it's like fat because I've been drinking too many Monster Energies or too much Patron.
That's because you drink too many Monster Energy drinks. Right?
Absolutely.
You and other people like you who drink too much.
That's where the rapper fat comes from.
It's not rapper fat, it's just Royce fat, man. It's 5'9" fat. No. That's what you got.
Ain't no Royce fat.
Yeah.
Rapper fat.
You ain't even put this
rapper
on rap.
It's rapper fat, huh?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, because before I was a rapper, I didn't have
rapper
this
fat.
No.
I've never had rapper fat, and I'm not a rapper. Therefore, it must be rapper fat.
You've never had rapper fat before you're a rapper? You know what I'm saying? When did you start rapping, Royce?
Are you talking about professionally?
No, period. Since you ain't want to make the distinction between professional rapper fat and amateur rap, when did you start rapping?
16.
16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're rapper fat?
Before that, though, when you was super athletic running around,
I was super athletic at 16. Super athletic. I didn't turn into rapper fat
There we go.
until I got into my professional career.
There we go.
That's when I turned rapper fat.
There we go.
Even my do-rags was fitting different. Like I tie them up in the back, and then the back would be hurting. Yo, this part right here would be hurting, dog. I take my do-rag off, and I have like marks right here.
Yo, you gotta you know what? Weight is the thing, though. You know, in general, and I always push my homies out there who are maybe a little bit overweight. Check your sugar intake. Try and get a little bit more active, and just on the strength of not even on losing weight, but these joints of mine. You know, make sure that you're getting out there, moving around, not being sedentary, sitting around. Make sure you get up and work out. Use your body while you still got it. You know what I'm saying? Before it turns on you. Like my hips are turning on me right now.
I know in your early 20s, checking your sugar intake is not something you generally do.
But you should.
That's not a young 20-year-old thing
You should
to do.
You should.
Oh man, I sure would check my sugar intake.
Cause look, it ain't that far away though. Like you could be 20
No.
and vibing.
I know.
26.
Yeah, okay, but no, people in their 20s aren't smart. All right, we don't start even using our brains until we're about 30. All right,
35 maybe.
Most of us, especially me. I'm speaking for myself on that one. In my 20s, I didn't give a fuck about shit.
You don't think
in my 20s?
You don't think that pain happens? Like, and not pain. See, we don't think that our bodies really don't rock with us, right? We think our bodies are our friends when we're 16, 20s, in the teens. You think our bodies are friends. When you hit 30, your body will turn against you real quick, and you'll be thinking about pain. You never think about your body hurting itself, right? You always think it's somebody else gonna do something to you.
Your body wants to break up. Yeah, your body wants to break up with you.
So when you hit 30, your brain turns on and your body turns against you.
Your body,
your body,
to sum it up.
Body files for a divorce. Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Oh my God!
And you got to try and get the bitch back.
Look, so as much as you can, ladies and gentlemen, as young as you are, trust me, make sure that you keep in mind that when you get old, your body hurts. You will pay the price soon. It ain't like I'm gonna be 90. Like, nah, bro, you're gonna be 36.
Ladies and gentlemen, starting tomorrow, I'm getting my body back. I want my body back. Right now, I'm built like a melted Milky Way. All right.
A melty Milky Way. I'll tell you what, though, if I make it to 90, that's where you turn the corner. Then I just start eating, drinking, drugs, you name it, I'm doing it at 90.
At 90?
Why not?
I guarantee you're not.
Well, you give me 40-some years.
Your perspective will probably change by the time you get 90.
I'm doing it all at that point.
Well, I told myself I was going to do drugs, but I don't fucking feel like it.
I'm doing it all at that point.
Feel like doing no drugs at 90. You might as well do that shit now.
If they're able, like in the medical world, they're able to come up with like exoskeletons and all type of different things that you could do medicine wise or like add-on wise to make you feel like when you're 90, feel like you're 20, then probably that kind of makes sense. Like if I'm 90 and I have like even what I feel right now, and I'm 90 and I know I only got like, whatever left, oh yeah, I'm going crazy. Skydiving,
I did
doing it all.
Climbing,
skydiving,
seconds.
I'm
bungee jumping.
Where I grew up at. Oh, he's singing that song again. It's time to go.
Oh, here we go.
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
Today's show is sponsored by Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds, anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn modern Japanese cooking from Nikki Nakayama, or learn scientific thinking and communication from Neil deGrasse Tyson, with over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors. That thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think.
Fellas, I'm in the midst of learning about the art of negotiation with Chris Voss. He's a former negotiator for the FBI and talks about bargaining, body language, and neuroscience, and the fact that great negotiation is about great collaboration, the give and the take, and the belief of who's doing what.
I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every masterclass, and as a listener of the Lupe and Royce Show, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Lupe and Royce. That's masterclass.com/Lupe and Royce for 15% off Masterclass.
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
I have a question for you guys, though.
What?
So our sponsor this week is Masterclasses. And I have to wonder if the two of you had to do a masterclass, what would you do it on? What is the one thing that somebody is going to sit down and listen the art of something from the two of you?
I could do one on making eggs for sure.
Making eggs.
Oh, fuck some eggs up. That's the only thing I can cook. I can cook the shit out of them, though. I'm going to do mine.
I'm going to log into Masterclass and I'm going to watch Royce the 5'9", the art of making an egg.
I'm telling you, I'm not omelet master.
I'm actually
The
not
omelet
good at
master,
master,
huh?
I don't think.
I'm not good at making omelets. I'm good at making eggs, but that you have to have patience. You've got to wait, and then you got to make that flip.
I'll wait and wait.
Oh,
and
I
wait.
can't wait. I can't wait. I'm worried that it's getting burnt underneath.
Yeah, patience.
You got to know.
I have no patience.
It won't get burnt underneath with the right lubrication on the skillet.
All right, so that's your master class.
Eggs.
Lou, what's your master class?
Rap. What are you talking about? You think I'm going to say something sarcastic and funny like Royce? Eggs? Something ridiculous? No, rapping. That's what would be my master class. Rapping.
But no, we got to go. It's got to be more specific than just rapping.
Why?
Listen, trust me.
That's what everybody want to learn how to do.
Rapping.
He could do a master class on rapping. I mean,
I think you could actually.
no
Master class.
because of the type of lyricist he is. You can just say rap, and people will be like, "Yeah, I want to know how to rap like Lupe."
Bam.
The art of rap.
Yeah.
Give us your promo, right? Give us your promo right now.
Yeah, what up?
Masterclass is listening.
Let me do it. Yo, what up? This is Lupe Fiasco. Have you ever wanted to know how to rap? Then subscribe to my masterclass right here on Masterclass. And I will teach you mastery in class form on the art of rapping. How to rap, where rap comes from, and where rap is going. All that. So join me, Lupe Fiasco, on my masterclass rap. Look at that.
Hey, how you doing? This is Royce the 5'9", and if you, by any chance, were worried about why you suck at making eggs, let me be the first to put your mind at ease. I will teach you about cooking eggs, omelets, and all that it encompasses. All you got to do is sign up to my Make a Egg Masterclass. I ain't just talking about no 3 egg. I'm talking about 1 egg, 2 egg, 4 egg, all egg. Sign up to my masterclass. Go ahead, Tom.
I don't know how to follow that. We got eggs and we got rap. I think I'd watch those back to back. Might start with the egg. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Hey, we forgot to say something at the very beginning. Our hotline number. We're getting a lot of calls. I think we
Hit him with
we normally announce it first.
Hit him with the number.
If you got something nice, you got something funny to say, leave us a voicemail, 707-276-6261.
Yo, people ain't been leaving raps.
We haven't had a rap in a while.
I was expected to be flooded with
A while?
freestyles.
We should have some more. I think you guys might have scared them a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Good. I want them to
So
be
please, I enjoyed them. Send the rap back. Hey, we did have a listener call in after our one of our episode, and they suggested an interesting new HBO Max show for us. Have you heard of this martial arts show called Warrior?
I'm not watching that.
You ain't watching it.
I am a little bit more partial to Netflix. Am I allowed to say that? It's easy.
Netflix is easy. HBO need to learn something from Netflix and get easy. Easy
Netflix
over like
is
them eggs that Royce gonna teach you on his masterclass over there. Go and sign up for that masterclass.
Hey,
Royce
you name it.
59 making eggs.
Over easy, scrambled, not anything but poached. Over easy, scrambled. Go ahead, Tom.
Now, we got another interesting voicemail. It's a first-hand report about Cecil Hotel.
Oh man,
Cecil
come on.
Hotel.
I got some people to just put up, bro. I gotta go.
Listen to this now. The guy's name is Tom.
I'm sure he wants some spaghetti.
Yo,
My name is...
Yeah, bro.
When you just
What?
took your hat off, Royce, you and Tom are really similar.
You give me glasses and a little bit of a tan. Put a flash shirt on me, and I am Royce the 5'9".
You seen him take it there? Don't be
I
showing
think-
up. Don't be showing up as a fake Royce. You gotta have a certain level of limitation on your fugazi, man. You can't just be out counterfeiting everything. But if you did just happen to do it, I would definitely applaud it. Just know that you got my blessing if you ever decide to go that deep.
Tom, put the
Maybe that's what I do for Halloween this year.
baseball cap low and put some shades on.
Put some shades. I'm wearing that plus a flash shirt when I come to Heaven Studio.
Man, we'd be like a.
All right, let me read this.
All right, come on. Fan service. Here we go. Hurry up.
My name is Tom, and I'm not making this up. This is the guy's name. I've been trying to catch up on the show the past week or two. Just found out it existed. I can't believe I didn't know about it. Just getting to your Nudge episode and heard you talk about Hotel Cecil. I stayed there for a few days a couple years ago and had to stay there alone one night. The energy of that place is wild, and the complimentary breakfast was disappointing. It was the cheapest hotel in LA at the time, for whatever reason. Probably the serial killers, but probably not, though. Pretty sure it's closed now. Royce, you are a legend, and I'm pretty sure Tom photoshopped the flash shirt on you to knock you down a peg. Lupe, you're also a legend, and happy 39th birthday. He's a little bit behind. And from one Tom to another, you are a legendary regular dude.
See,
So thank
man,
you,
I
Tom.
knew that we could have just played that. You ain't have to read that to us. You only gave it to him because his name was Tom. You a Thomas.
His name was Tom, so it,
You a
And
Thomas.
he ended
man.
it with he's a legendary regular dude.
You know how Royce
I like
is,
that.
Is a Royceist, right? You a Thomist, man.
I'm a Thomist.
You're a Thomist.
I see you
That's a
partial
good
to
thing.
Tom.
Calling you a Thomist. Calling you a Thomist.
You're a Thomist.
Calling me a Thomist.
What up? This is Lupe Fiasco, and I'm hungry. It's Ramadan.
Yo, what up? This is Royce the 5'9", and I wish my brother could eat something, but then again, no, I don't, man, because Ramadan is more important. It's on you, Tom.
This is Tom Frank. Thank you for listening. I'm now actually getting a little sweaty from my vaccine. I went from cold to sweaty, but I'm vaccinated, and it's all good.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Hey, this is Jay from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I'm a big fan of the pod, big fan of Lupe and Royce. Tom, you're cool too. I wanted to say that I'm surprised with all of Royce's refusal to be categorized as boom bap that no one has pointed out that in his very own song Caterpillar, he features Eminem saying the following: "The boom bap is coming back with an axe to mumble rap." What's up with that, Royce?
Hey, Lupe, Royce, Tom. This is Matthew from PG County, Maryland. Not too far from Tom. And then the argument of Friends is Seinfeld. Friends is definitely losing that. And honestly, Friends is obsolete compared to Living Single. So, yeah, we cut that out. But appreciate the pod, guys, and keep doing what you do.
Hi, Lupe and Royce. My name is Brittany. I'm from Chicago. I just called to say I absolutely loved that last episode, episode 30, Demons. The way that you guys dived into what was going on with DMX and especially the mental health emphasis caught my attention. I would love for you guys to take it further and discuss mental health within the hip-hop community, as well as incorporating the role women have in hip-hop. Too, I noticed most of the references are male rappers, and I feel that female MCs should be highlighted as well. So big shout out. I'm digging your podcast and I'm excited for your concert, Lupe, on the 15th. I got my tickets. So yeah, just keep it up. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Thank you.
What's going on, y'all? This is Sean from California. I gotta say, I'm a lifelong fan of Lupe Fiasco. Well, not lifelong, but, you know, it's the lifespan of his career. That's what brought me to the show. I knew about Royce, obviously, because I follow Midwest lyricists. I do believe that the best lyricists in the world come from the Midwest. I'm not even gonna go down the list, but y'all know, they are it. Honestly, that just ties into it, man. I started watching the show because I'm such a fan of Lupe and you know, just intelligent rappers, but who in the world would have guessed that I would have stuck around and become a huge fan of my man Tom, bruh. Y'all, I love the banter. I love what he brings to the show. I love his just a normal dude disposition. Put it like this: if Lupe got the juice and Royce got the sauce, does that just make Tom the spoon?
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
That's our show for the week. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe or follow. Leave us a review and tell your friends to listen. The Lupe and Royce Show is a production of Say What Media. It's recorded and mixed by Claude Jennings. Our head writer is Lauren Sloat. I'm Tom Frank. And our theme music is by, who else? Lupe Fiasco and Royce the 5'9".